One of the LKDSB's strategic priorities is to be inclusive and honor diversity. The learning and assessment practices we utilize are actions we can take to champion anti-oppressive education.
Take a moment to read the vision of the Social Studies History and Geography curriculum found on page 6. What words in this vision do you feel are key? You're welcome to pause the video and take time to share.
When a report card is shared with the family, it communicates the student achievement and what has been the focus of the learning. The comments are like a doorway or window into our classrooms. Our classrooms should be places that value diversity and equity.
Our report card comments communicate these values to parents and also reflect our safe and inclusive learning environments where we learn about perspectives and significant events in other people's lives. As we write report card comments, a guiding question should be, do my report card comments break down or create barriers? In order to champion anti-oppressive education, we must ensure that our social studies, history, and geography report card comments do not reflect a colonized or hierarchical perspective where one culture is valued over another.
What actions can be taken to do this? Follow these 4 guiding actions. Connect to current events and issues. Communicate using accurate and inclusive language. Value perspectives equitably. Honor the varying impacts of events on different communities, people, or places.
We will share some examples of these actions. You may wish to reference the resource document.
Action: connections to current events and issues. During the learning, teachers should integrate historical and current events and issues within the curriculum expectations and should not treat them as separate topics. This helps students make connections between the past and present.
We want to ensure that students understand that there are Indigenous peoples here today, and the report card will reflect this by the language that you use in the comments. Are you only referring to Indigenous people in Strand A or in history? Or are you making connections to present-day local realities and the contributions of Indigenous people when making connections between and reporting upon Strand A and Strand B?
The report card comment should also reference the learning about diverse communities in Canada, Indigenous peoples, immigrants to Canada, Black Canadians, and women, and their involvement in environmental, social, and political issues of the past and present. View and discuss this example. Action: communicate using accurate and inclusive language. Social Studies History Geography curriculum outlines the importance of communicating using accurate and inclusive language. These are found in the examples. When crafting report card comments, it is very important to make sure we are using terminology and concepts correctly and effectively.
For example, let's look at the terms pioneer and settler. The definition of a pioneer is a person who is among the first to explore a new country or area. The definition of a settler is a person who moves with a group of others to live in a new country or area. Settler is a much more appropriate word to use. In fact, the word pioneer isn't even found in the curriculum document. Another example is to use the names of specific First Nations when writing comments.
Take time to consider this example. It is important to expose students to the perspectives and viewpoints of groups and communities connected to the topic of study. A report card comment should reflect the fact that we value and learn from these important perspectives.
When crafting your report card comments, remember that we should see other people's viewpoints and learn from them, but be careful not to take these viewpoints on as our own. For example, we should not be asking our students to create a piece of writing from the viewpoint of an Ojibwe child in a residential school and then share that in the comment.
Consider this example. Action. Honor the varying impacts of events on different communities, people, or places. Students come to understand that significance often depends on the context or situation. For example, what is important to one person or group of people may not be important to another. The significance of something is generally determined by its short and/or long-term impact on people and/or places.
When crafting report card comments, communicate that historical and current events impact groups of people in different ways. For example, the building of the Canadian Pacific Railway positively impacted the settler community, but negatively impacted First Nation and Métis communities and Chinese immigrants. Our report card comments should share that students understand the impacts of these actions varied between groups involved and still have impact today.
Reflect on and discuss this example. The focus of today's thinking and reflecting was on the Social Studies History Geography curriculum. We can apply these actions to all report card comments.